So Auntie then watched the debate. I suffered through hearing two white men, old white men, argue about who's the best, basically. But the reason why I wanted to do it, I felt compelled to get the full picture of this whole black job thing. I just felt in my spirit that there's more to that story. So I watched it, and I'm glad I did. I suffered through the part until damn near the second half of the debate started with black jobs. I'm going to show you a clip, and then I'm going to get right back to y'all on how I feel about this whole black job thing. All right? Listen to the question. That's what I want you to ask yourself. I want you to do is listen to the questions that the moderators or the questioners of this debate is giving. Okay? Just listen to the question. That's what I want you to do.
Welcome back to the CNN presidential debate live from Georgia. Let's talk about persistent challenges you both faced in your first terms and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earned far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're providing housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past, I was able to reduce black child care costs. I cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family first-time home buyer should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals who had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you. President Trump?
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right, it's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now. and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They've tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again if they win. You find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing anything, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure.
Now, did you hear the question? The question was about black jobs, black people, and our concern with the fact that Biden didn't seem to really be coming through, especially based on the numbers, right? So why y'all on social media, social media news people, social media commentators made it seem like Trump pulled it out of his behind to start talking about black jobs and that the Mexicans was coming from. Where did y'all get that? Where did you get it? He said people that is crossing the borders, okay, is coming for black and Hispanic, aka Latinos, jobs. Okay? Based on the question and the questionnaire, they described the fact that black people are making less than, and we still making less than our counterparts in employment. We still are getting the shitty end of the stick. So the question was geared about black people still being in the same fucked up position as we were before Biden came in. Okay? We aren't seeing these changes that Biden is making. Trump responded to the black question. And he said that the people that are crossing the borders are the ones that are coming for the low income, the black jobs, the low income jobs, according to the questionnaire, not Trump. They said that we were the least paid and don't have higher paying jobs. That's according to the questionnaire. And the studies and numbers, okay? Trump just answered the question. He didn't pull black jobs out of his behind. He answered a whole question. And y'all out here making memes, though very funny, and GIFs and videos, though very, very funny. And I'm not saying don't stop, but I am telling people, get the full context of it before you want to be mad at a person. You know, keep with the jokes is fire. I mean, keep up with the videos. I love it. But get the full context. Trump was just responding to the question. And the people, y'all assumed the people crossing the borders, he was talking about our southern borders. And you just assumed it was Mexico. Let me remind you that when Biden won, there was a swarm of, well, I don't want to say a swarm, there was a lot of foreigners from other countries taking boats. I mean, like, coming over here, flying here, okay, and claiming refugee status. And prior to it becoming really a bad situation, People could come from other countries, come to our country with no visa, and then once they get here, apply for refugee status. Okay? And meanwhile, they are staying in nice hotels. That was a major issue in the beginning of Biden's administration. They came over here because they had a president they knew would allow them to do that. Trump, people didn't like him. They didn't even want to come to this country. Good, we're full. But as soon as Biden gets here, they're coming over. So it's not the southern borders or our northern border. These are people that's from other countries. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's them, but Ukraine, they're just taking a flight here, landing in America, and then wanting to apply for refugee. Okay, now I will say that from what I understand, Biden did pass a regulation that they will have to do that in their country before coming here because it had gotten so bad. Okay, so Trump didn't lie about that. I'm just saying. And those are the people that's coming in and getting those, they're getting paid. And yes, they are coming for the low income jobs, because why should I pay a black or a Latino or Hispanic, whichever one, I don't know. I like being called black. Okay, not African American. I've heard of some Hispanics that like to be called Hispanic and not Latino. Whatever the situation is, okay? I'm not trying to offend anyone, so I know you understand that. Okay. We do hold the lower paying job. They do pay us lower. Even if you are a doctor, you're probably not getting paid as much as you're getting paid as your white counterpart. It is what it is, but you don't have no proof because we're not supposed to be sharing this information. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Period. So it's never going to get out. Or I won't say it never won't get out. Someone might have the balls to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, take me to jail, but this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Our black doctors are getting paid way lower than their white counterparts. Okay? I think we all kind of know that. We don't really say it, but we know that. Okay? Period. So why would I pay a black citizen or a Hispanic or Latino citizen the required minimum wage when I could pay this undocumented person from whatever country, okay, under the table, less than that? Business. Think with your business mind and not with your heart right now. That's what that's what Trump is talking about. Why would, if you ran a business and you have a black person, Hispanic person, and undocumented worker, they all can do this job and be trained in this job. They're both smart enough to do the job and some. You're required to pay the Latino and the black at least the minimum wage. Say the minimum wage is $17 an hour. Okay, you're required. You cannot go below that, even if they're part-time. Okay, but you got this undocumented worker that needs to feed his family. He could do the job just as easy as a black or a Latino or any person, right? Or child, a teenager that can work. They have their work permit. And with this person, you don't necessarily have to provide them with all the necessary things that you have to do for us as citizens of these United States. Okay? You can work. They're not even documented, so you're not even putting them on the official payroll. You don't have to give them breaks. You can treat them however, because they're not a citizen of these United States and they ain't supposed to be here. Okay? You're not supposed to be working with them, but who's going to tell? The undocumented worker? so he can get deported. The person that is hiring this undocumented worker, so that he can get fined and charged and possibly his business shut down? Who's gonna know? And y'all, I know y'all smarter than this. I'm not even gonna say y'all dumb. Y'all smart, y'all know it, but you just don't like Trump because he's arrogant. I get it. He's an arrogant motherfucker. And it doesn't help that he's rich acting. I don't know. I something in my spirit says that he's not as rich as you think he is. He just got people, which makes him still rich. He got a network. He got people that is supporting him. You know what I'm saying? He's learned to work the system to make it seem like he is richer than he is. I think he's okay. He's better than me. But I don't think he's as rich as he thinks he puts off. But y'all just hate him because he got what you want? I don't get it. I mean, intelligence here. Intelligence. But keep those jokes up. Those are hilarious. Those are hilarious. I seen one with a Mexican dude. He had he had Modelo around his neck, tied on the Modelo bottles, and he's wading through water as me coming over here to take the black jobs. Even though that is not what Trump said. It's hilarious. Hilarious. I love the jokes. Okay, but y'all showing up and wearing some scrubs and a mask doesn't tell me ish. Okay, what is that? A bunch of medical assistants? You can buy scrubs in the mall. You can buy scrubs in the mall. Or you can get masks on Amazon. You can get scrubs on Amazon. Matter of fact, I got my scrubs when I worked as a medical assistant. I'm just saying. Anybody can get scrubs and a white coat. And they have whatever he wants to inscribe. This is America. Okay? I'm just saying, y'all know what he meant by that. And yes, it means the low end, because he did not single us out like the questionnaires did, though. He included Hispanics in it too, because he know that those are the ones that they're coming for our job. Those people that's coming over here without a visa and then applying for refuge, meanwhile they're still here. And Democrats act as if they are bleeding hearts for them, and they do so much for everybody else. Meanwhile, you got black moms still dying to childbirth that could have been taken care of if there wasn't such a disparity in the medical industry when it comes to black and white health, or any other health other than white people. And I'll even go further and say white male health. Okay, they just started doing female, and I don't know if they did any with blacks. And we're all different. Stop trying to equal. Yeah, we want to be treated with respect, but we're different. I am a black woman, okay? Strong in the melanin area. I don't need to be treated like a white man. He doesn't have the hormones that I have. He doesn't have to go through, he don't have not an ovary nowhere. Okay, a lot of these studies are based off of white male studies. Okay. What about African American, Latino, Hispanic, French? I mean, we all are different, and we eat differently. And so the blood pressure for a black person may be actually different. A healthy blood pressure for a black person and a Latino may be completely different than it is for a white male. Anyway, I want to be able to post this on multiple platforms, and I already know I'm out of the running when it comes to Instagram. I have to do a whole different one. Anyway, deuces.